Okay, happy Tuesday, everybody. It's Skip Neal here again, your Gallivanting guru for our update on our Tahiti Tuesday. And I'm once again honored to have the pleasure of welcoming Mr. Dave McKay, my buddy from the Pearl Resorts down in Tahiti. And today, Dave is going to be giving us a wonderful update on the Taha'a, and which is the beautiful vanilla island in Tahiti. But I'm going to let Dave tell you more about it than just listen to my boring voice and tone. So I'm going to hand it over here to Mr. Dave McKay. Dave, thanks for joining me, my friend, and let us know what updates you got for the beautiful La Taha'a Resort, one of my favorites.
Okay, great. Thanks very much, Skip. And hello, everybody. And thank you all very much for joining us today. Skip and I are just going to have a sort of a conversation in some ways as we move through the presentation today. And what we're going to do is talk a little bit about La Taha'a Island Resort and Spa. And what you see in front of you there is La Taha'a. In the background there, you have the island of Bora Bora. And La Taha'a is a very special place. It's a barefoot luxury experience. And what we mean by that is that 95% of the staff who work here come from the main island of Taha'a. So our way of giving back to our communities is to employ our community. In addition to that, 80% of the resort is built from local material sourced in and around French Polynesia. So what we're going to do today is just give you a little bit of an idea of our location, how to get there, and how Skip can actually help you sell the Taha'a Island Resort and Spa. So let's just talk about location first of all. So coming from North America, you can fly several different ways, either through Los Angeles or San Francisco, through Los Angeles on Air Tahiti Nui, which is the national carrier, or through San Francisco on United Airlines. Now, it's about an 8.5-hour flight into the islands of Tahiti. So most flights are leaving around about midnight from LA, and the United flights leave sort of mid-afternoon. Now, as you can see from this map here, just a quick note that it's not to scale, but this island group here is known as the Society Islands. Now, we're going to be talking about La Taha'a today, but our group, the Pearl Resorts of Tahiti group, not only have La Taha'a as part of their portfolio, but we have a resort, La Tahiti, on the main island of Tahiti. We have La Bora Bora, which of course everybody has an idea of what Bora Bora is all about. The Tikihau and the Tuamotu Archipelago, and Le Nukuhiva up in the Marquesas Islands. But as I say, we're going to mainly talk a little bit about La Taha'a today. Just a couple of quick notes though, is that when you fly into Papeete, you can actually direct connect from your international flight to your domestic carrier. And what you can do is then you jump on the local airline, Air Tahiti, and it's a 35-minute flight up to the island of Raiatea. There is no airport in the main island, on the main island of Taha'a. And so we will actually meet you there and transfer you on our private motor launch all the way up the lagoon to La Taha'a. And as Skip knows, this is almost like a little excursion unto itself, because you transverse the lagoon, not only of Raiatea, but also of Taha'a. And as you come around the point here, you start to see in the distance this little island with this overwater bungalows on it, and that is La Taha'a. As I mentioned, we overlook Bora Bora and across to the main island of Taha'a. As Skip mentioned, La Taha'a is known as the vanilla island. So 80% of all vanilla produced in Tahiti comes from the island of Taha'a. So when you're talking to Skip about Taha'a and putting this as part of your program for Tahiti, we like to sometimes call La Taha'a a combination resort. And what we mean by this is that many people will come and stay with us for 3 or 4 nights in Taha'a and then continue on to Bora Bora. And what Skip can do, he can help you in terms of combining what resort is most suitable for you with that in Bora Bora. So for example, we do get a lot of combination programs where we'll do 3 or 4 nights in Taha'a and then people will continue on to Bora Bora, and they'll go to, say, the Four Seasons or the St. Regis, or you may wish to actually come to La Bora Bora. And as Skip knows, La Bora Bora has just undergone a $41 million Euro renovation. And it's a beautiful resort, looks right out over the main island of Bora Bora onto Mount Otumanu. So those are a couple of different options for you. To get to Bora Bora from La Taha'a, all you have to do is you come back down the lagoon again to the island of Raiatea and the airport, and it's a 10-minute flight to Bora Bora. If you wanted to, what you could also do is that you can fly directly from our helipad here in La Taha'a across to Bora Bora. It's about a 10-minute flight. Resorts like La Bora Bora, Four Seasons, St. Regis, they all have helipads. So you can actually go helipad to helipad and have a beautiful scenic flight around the island itself of Bora Bora before you land at your resort. Now you can make those arrangements through Skip. He has direct access to Tahiti Nui helicopters. And what you'd actually be doing there is actually chartering the aircraft. It's about $1,200 to do that. So if you're wanting to do something a little bit different in terms of travel style or a little bit more exciting, perhaps a helicopter transfer from La Taha'a to Bora Bora is something that you might want to actually consider. Now, as I mentioned, we pick you up here in Raiatea. Our airport arrivals team meets you here. And once you come back up to La Taha'a, we give you a second welcome at the resort. And this is the first gentleman that you will run into. His name is Tavita. He is the most tattooed person in French Polynesia, as you can see. Now, his Tavita actually in English means David. So when I'm on site, he's T1 and I'm T2. But I don't have the tattoos, of course. So his job really, he's our cultural ambassador. And his job is to interact with all of our guests during the day. For example, he'll sit down by the pool bar there and do basket weaving and that sort of thing. If you're feeling thirsty, he'll climb a coconut tree for you and grab a coconut and bring it down for you. And he's a really interesting guy. He has a lot of knowledge of the destination. He's from the island of Taha'a. And he is well known in the destination. So he's our cultural ambassador. We then walk you up to our reception area, and this is where you start to see the look of La Taha'a, the beautiful Tahitian woods that we've used right throughout the entire resort. So let's just talk a little bit about the layout of the resort as well. So another shot here of Bora Bora in the background. We only have 57 bungalows in total, 45 over the water, and our 10 beach villas all along our main beachfront area here. And we are a small resort. So as I mentioned, it's a barefoot luxury resort. We're part of the Roulian Chateau family. And so we also carry 3 restaurants on site. So a couple of unique features of our resort is this area here that I'm pointing to. Now, this is known as the Coral Garden. Now, the Coral Garden is a natural channel, and the current comes all the way back into the resort. And so what you can do is you can go to our beach hut and you can get your snorkel and goggles and stuff like that, or you can bring your own with you, given the COVID times that we live in at the moment. And then what we do is that you come all the way out to the edge of the lagoon and you drift snorkel all the way back into the resort. Now you can do this as many times as you like. It's a complimentary service or an activity. But what we can also do is that for a small charge, I think it's around about $10 per person, you can do a guided tour of the Coral Garden on your first day. And this allows you to understand the channel and the current, and also gives you an opportunity to start interacting with our staff. One of our pool boys, for example, Big Love, he'll take you out to the edge of the lagoon and he'll talk a little bit about the garden itself, the different fish varieties that we have in here. And of course, he'll escort you right through the garden. And once you've done it and understand it, you can do it as many times as you like. This little island that you see here is really interesting as well. This is where we do a lot of our romantic dinners around the resort as well. And what we do here, we set up a beautiful white linen table service, and we actually serve you by wading through the lagoon. So if you're looking for a special meal or a special romantic service, this would be something to actually consider. So that just gives you a quick overview of the resort. We have, as mentioned, the 45 overwater bungalows. Now, when you're talking to Skip about your program and understanding the budget here, depending on your price point, is really dictated by your location on the pontoon. So, for example, if this set of bungalows here, looking down through the coral garden to Bora Bora, this is known as our Bora Bora overwater bungalows. The bungalows on the inside here, looking back to the island of Taha'a, is known as our Taha'a overwater bungalows. So these are our lead-in categories. So depending on your price point and your budget, you can actually work with Skip and working out what overwater bungalow type that you would like to stay in. And of course, we have our 4 end of pontoon bungalows as well on this pontoon. And we have a second pontoon, which is our sunset overwater pontoon as well, available to you. All of our overwater bungalows are 970 square feet. And as you can see from this image here, the use of all the Tahitian woods. We have this lovely coffee table here at the end of the bed. You can actually lift this up at night and you can actually feed the fish under your bungalow. It's quite spectacular. Fully air conditioned, of course. We all have ceiling fans in here as well. Beautiful, beautiful bathrooms. As you can see from this image here, the use of the Tahitian woods. We've got these beautiful Tahitian carvings here, these local ropes under the sinks, all made locally in Taha'a as well. So it really gives you the feel of being in a Polynesian environment when you're staying here in our overwater bungalow. Beautiful large wraparound decks with access to the lagoon, your own private gazebo, and direct access into the lagoon itself. Now, I'm about 5'9", so the lagoon in and around all of our bungalows is only about chest high on me. So you can very, very easily walk back into the beach area or stand up. You're not going to be having to worry about the very deep water here in the lagoon. And of course, when you're out here, there's all these different shades of blue that you see right throughout the entire lagoon. We also have a room service program as well. So if you're wanting to, take a break from the restaurants at night, what you can do here is order room service. And what we do is we set up what we call a Milky Way dinner under the stars or under your gazebo here, a white linen table service, and something a little bit different again that you can do. So dining is not just restricted to our restaurants when you stay with us here at La Taha'a. We also have our beach villa product as well. So if you're combining us with Bora Bora, you may want to mix up your bungalow type as well as your islands as well. So for example, you might want to stay here in a beach bungalow in La Taha'a and have an overwater bungalow experience in Bora Bora. It's up to you. This is our lead-in product. So if your budget doesn't quite get there in terms of combining the two, something you can talk to Skip about is perhaps downgrading from an overwater bungalow into a beach villa product, and it may in fact reach your budget that you actually have. Our 1-bedroom villas are 1,500 square feet. All of the villas have a private swimming pool and direct access to the beach as well. Again, you've got your private gazebo. And we also have 2 Royal Beach villas as well. And these are 2,800 square feet, and they are ideal for families because we have a separate bedroom area and ensuite as well. The image below you here sort of has, this is the main part of the villa with the lounge area and the bedroom in the back, and the bathroom is just off to the side here. And so if you've got a family of 4 people, a 2-bedroom villa would be an ideal product to actually consider for your family when you're staying here at La Taha'a. So that just gives you a quick overview of our different bungalows that we actually have. Of course, we're fully air conditioned, all of our bungalows, as I mentioned. Wi-Fi is complimentary right throughout the resort as well. And a little added bonus that we give you is that we have complimentary mini bars at our resort here at the Taha'a. In actual fact, all of our resorts in Taha'a, Tikihau, and Bora Bora have complimentary mini bars. Selected products only. So you'll get some wine and beer, soft drinks, fruit juices, and some snacks, for example. And that mini bar is refreshed for you on a daily basis. Now, let's just talk a little bit about restaurants. When you come to Taha'a, because we're a small island, there is no real dining on the main island of Taha'a. So dining always normally takes place here at the resort, okay? So there is one restaurant on the main island of Taha'a, and I often get asked about it, but it is a bit of a journey to get there. And the transfer cost by the time you get across to the lagoon and over to that restaurant is about $100 just for the transfer. So perhaps you're better off staying on the main, on the resort and dining at one of our 3 restaurants. This is our first one, Hawaii Nui. I call it our living restaurant because the trees are actually growing through the restaurant itself. And this is where you have breakfast daily. And breakfast is complimentary to all of our guests when they stay with us here at Taha'a. And this is also open for dinner as well. On a Tuesday night, we have an island night, which is a traditional Polynesian festival, if you like, and also includes a fire dancing show. And that's where you'll see Tavita once again. And it's a great night, because it's a very special night for our staff as well. And they all get dressed up extra special for this particular occasion. You know, beautiful flower headays that all of our staff are working and stuff like that. And so it's something when you're staying with us is not to be missed as our island night on a Tuesday night. As I mentioned here, we have breakfast daily included in all of our programs as well. And beautiful views out into the lagoon. Now, something we've just completed recently is a new bar area upstairs as well, where Hawaii Nui is located. If you look out to the side here where these paintings are, Hawaii Nui is just behind here. On the other side of the Hawaii Nuki restaurant and bar is this restaurant. And this is the Ohiri restaurant. This is our fine dining restaurant. It only has 8 tables. And you can talk to Skip a little bit more about this particular restaurant. Because you do have to pre-book it. And our menu here is in keeping with our Polynesian theme here at the resort. So what we do is we have a 5-course tasting menu. And we actually have a separate team, separate chef, sous chef, that only service this particular restaurant. And at the tasting menu, many of the ingredients are sourced locally on the island of Taha'a and also Raiatea. Now, if you like your wines as well, we do have a wine pairing program that you can purchase as well, that you can have in conjunction with your dining experience here at Ohiri. And finally, we have La Plage, our Feet in the Sand restaurant. This has a live cooking station, and this is down by our pool area. And this is where we have our lunches, obviously every day, but twice a week, we invite the local fishermen to come into the resort, and they set up what we call the catch of the day in these big ice trays. And what you can do is select whatever you like from the ice tray and have your catch of the day, be it lobster or, you know, some of the fish like mahi-mahi or whatever that we have, and some of the lagoon fish as well. So we do that twice a week here.
That's a treat, Dave. That's a big treat.
It's great, actually. It's a lot of fun, and the fishermen, you know, it's a really well put together program. So, and you never know what you're going to get.
That's right.
You know, it's different every time. So it's quite good. So those are our 3 restaurant options that you have here at Taha'a. As I said, most people are going to spend 3 or 4 nights with us. Now, Skip also has available for you a meal program as well. So, for example, if you wanted to pre-purchase your dinners, you can do so through Skip. So he has a variety of different meal plans that he can offer you as well. And just a little tip on that, when you pre-purchase your meal programs through Skip, the taxes are 10%. When you pre-purchase on site, the taxes are 18%. So you do have a little bit of a saving there. And I think it's fair to tell you that, excuse me, that dining sometimes can be a little bit more expensive here in Tahiti. So
Yes.
perhaps a meal plan is something that you may actually want to consider. Across from the La Plage, our Feet in the Sand restaurant, is our swimming pool area, excuse me, looking out into the lagoon. And this is also where we have one of our swim up bars as well. And what you can do here is that we have a happy hour between 4:30 and 5:30 p.m. at night. So if you want to have a pre-dinner cocktail, something like that, you can come down to the pool bar before you head back out up to the restaurants. And the way our restaurant is designed and our resort is designed is that you're always going to have beautiful views out into the lagoon. Lush vegetation all around the resort as well. Some of the trees here are over 100 years old here at Taha'a. And as I mentioned to you before, our dining experiences are not just restricted to our restaurants. What you can also do is set up a romantic dinner program if you wanted to. We talked a little bit about the Motu romantic dinner by the Coral Garden here. We can set up a romantic beach dinner or another location around the island, or we can have a private dinner on the deck of your Overwater Bungalow as well, or your beach villa. So don't feel that you are restricted just to the restaurants. We have a lot of different dining options available to you in and around the resort. For those of you who are like me, who have some allergy issues, in particular, in my case, it's gluten. So what we do is that you let Skip know that you have these challenges. And we actually have special menus for those people who are gluten-free, vegetarian, vegan, for example. And what we will do is work with Skip and arrange for you to meet with our food and beverage directors on arrival, and they will help you design a meal for your entire stay. So it's something that we do very, very well here at Taha'a. Well, not just at Taha'a, but also in Bora Bora and Tikihau as well. So if you've got some allergy challenges, don't worry, we have that covered. Just let Skip know and we can work with you to build a program, as I say, to suit your specific requirement. Lots of different activities on Taha'a as well. We do have a complimentary shuttle service that goes across to the main island of Taha'a itself. It's a beautiful island. As I mentioned earlier, it's known as the Vanilla Island. 80% of all vanilla is produced in the island of Taha'a. What I would recommend is that we have a variety of excursions on the main island, 4x4 excursions, for example. You can hire quad bikes if you wanted to. We have electric bikes on the main island as well for hire. So you can do your own exploring in and around the main island of Taha'a. I would certainly recommend, though, perhaps looking at doing a 4x4 excursion with our guides, because they're really, really interesting. They take you around the island. They'll stop at a coconut plantation. They'll show you how they actually dry out the coconut and stuff like that as well. They will have these massive land crabs which is a local delicacy. They'll talk about those and show you how they put them into the coconut milk to fatten them up and cleanse them. They'll take you into the hinterlands, up into the mountains here, in the 4x4. They'll talk about all the lush vegetation, the different vegetables that grow naturally on the island of Taha'a as well that we use, the herbs, and also the different plants and that sort of thing that we use for medication. So it's a really, really interesting tour. And you'll also have the opportunity to visit a vanilla plantation. And there are also a number of pearl farms here as well. So you get the opportunity to visit a pearl farm. You can pay a little bit extra. And if you wanted to, by doing that, you can actually dive down with the pearl diver, select an oyster, and whatever pearl comes out of that oyster is yours to keep. So I would certainly recommend doing something on the main island of Taha'a. The Paripari Rum Distillery is also on the main island there as well. This is a little craft or cottage industry that we have, so it makes for a great souvenir to bring home to your friends and family. But also what they do here is they press the local coconut oils, manoi oils, tamanu oil as well. So all these oils are really great for your skin. So they do have those available at the rum distillery. All non-motorized water sports, so anything that's not run by gas or coconut oil, is complimentary. And of course, being a water-based type of resort, there's a whole variety of excursions that you can do. For example, you can do a sunset cruise on a sailboat, do a half-day excursion on a sailboat as well. We have the jet skis where you can do a jet ski tour around the island as well. So a variety of different activities on water are available to you as well. If you're looking for a bit more of a cultural experience, you may wish to revisit the island of Raiatea. And we have transfers during the day that will take you back to the island of Raiatea, because Raiatea is a very important island. It's the second island of Tahiti. And it's where they say some of the great Polynesian migrations took place that went down into the islands of Samoa, the Kingdom of Tonga, and of course, New Zealand. And there is a World Heritage Site there, which is called Tapu Tapu Taea, which is an ancient marae or a gathering place of the village. And we have a guided tour of Tapu Tapu Taea that you could do. You could combine that. There's some great hiking on the island of Raiatea as well. We go to what we call the three waterfalls, so you could do that as well. There is the only navigable river in French Polynesia is located in Raiatea. So you can do a paddleboard excursion upstream on the river as well. So a lot of different activities that you can do on the island of Raiatea. So as I say, lots of different activities that you can experience at the resort, or you can just sit back, just relax, enjoy the resort, enjoy the scenery, and just kick back and reconnect or disconnect, as I like to say. We also have a wonderful spa facility here at the island of Taha'a. And again, in keeping with our local traditions, all the lotions that we use here, all the various oils, are locally produced in Taha'a and in Raiatea. So a lot of different activities that you can do on the resort. So that sort of concludes our presentation today. If you've got any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to Skip and ask him about our not just Taha'a, but our other resorts as well. And before we leave you today, we just want to show you a little presentation, a video presentation of Taha'a, which will give you a sense of the feeling of this particular resort. Okay, so there we are. Thank you all very much for joining us today. And we look forward to welcoming you to our resorts. Skip, back to you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Dave. That video, that's a way to, wow, really top it off. And it's very well done. And, you know, I was watching it and a couple of things popped to my head. I was like, you know, the water is beautiful, but like you and I talk about, even the videos and the pictures don't do the water justice. You have to be there to really experience it, I think. And
That's right.
And one of the things I noticed that I absolutely love, and it was on the video, is the canoe breakfast. Now that's a nice experience too.
Exactly.
That's a great thing to have. But listen, man, thanks so much for doing this with us in our I guess it's our second of a third installment. So I really appreciate it, and we'll get back together here. We'll do another installment of another area of Tahiti that that Dave runs his expertise around. So we'll have another educational section on a different area. But Dave, thank you, my friend, so much for your time, and I look forward to sending lots of new clients to experience the beauty and adventure that Taha'a has.
Okay, well, great. Thank you very much, Skip. And again, everybody, as I say, we look forward to welcoming you to our resorts.
Absolutely.
Take care and hope to see you soon.
You too. Thanks, Dave.